what we're going to do right now is we're going to go over how to do a cash flow analysis on a rental property. And what we're going to use is a tool that I developed for I'm with the National Association of Residential Real Estate Investment Advisors. And what we try to do is just help people understand how to do real estate investing. It's kind of like what this club is, where we're looking for good opportunities, and we basically sift through hundreds of these opportunities to try to find ones that actually work for the investors. We're trying to find something that's either appreciating well, or you're buying 20% below the actual repair value, or you are looking for something that's positive cash flow, or with a Gulf opportunity, looking for some kind of tax breaks. We're looking for good opportunities for our clients, and we connect them. And there's no question we're getting a little bit of commission somewhere in each of these deals. But the point is that we're trying to provide a place for you guys to come and share your notes and find some good tools. This right here is a cash flow calculator. It's free. You can have it. You can come to the website. It's narrea.com, Narreia.com, and you can download it for free. And you can give it out to anybody you want. What this does is it allows you to enter in all the information that you need, and lots of times people will forget when you see, oh, well, this is positive cash flow or whatever. Well, they're not including either the HOA, or they're not including the insurance, or they're not taking into account all of these things, and it's baloney. I mean, you have to run all of your different numbers to figure out exactly what's going on. Let me see, how am I going to be able to point to this stuff? Okay, up in here, you can see you can put your acquisition price, your list price, and your market value. And these are separate numbers. And what I'll do is we'll just make up a number just so you can see how this changes. Can everybody see this at all, or is this too dim? Do we need the lights down, maybe? It would help. Can we turn down? No, we can't turn down the lights. Okay. It's too small. Okay, I can fix that. You believe what I'm saying? Okay, sounds good. Well, they put it in here. So what you can do is, in these sections, I'll just do it generically then. In this area, you've got, all these cells are editable. You can put in your purchase price in here, and if it's different than the market value, you want to know what that is, because that's going to trickle over to what your ROI is. If you don't know, if you just put in here, I bought the house at $125,000, but you know it's worth $150,000, if you start doing your return on investment based on the appreciation of $125,000, it's not going to do you any good. You need to know what equity you come in with it. You've got closing costs up here. Often, when you're going to go in and sell the property, you're going to have a commission that you're going to pay to an agent, unless you're not using an agent. So then you need to take that out of there. But you can figure those costs in there just by putting the percentages in. You put in your rent, and in this scenario, the way we've got it set up, if you just fill out the stuff in yellow, you're going to get a good idea of what your cash flow is going to be. And it'll come down here and tell you that your cash flow, your monthly expenses are $992, and you're making a positive cash flow of $208. If you change your interest rate, and notice that we're using an interest only on this one, if you change your interest rate, it trickles through the whole thing, and it'll tell you what your return on your investment is. And I'm not trying to put this up here to sell this to you. This is just a tool that you can go, and it will help you figure out how to do your cash flow. And if you have different, like if you're in a different area where homeowners associations are not a factor, zero them out. If you know what property management fees are, just put the percentage in there, and it will calculate everything in there. It's also, for those of you that are really technically advanced, if you want to get into the whole Excel programming, take it apart, add your own things in there. There's just all sorts of features like how to get your closing costs in here, the additional repairs. If you hover over these red spots right in here, it'll show you how I came up with the formulas. It'll show you how each of these functions calculate out, so you can say, I don't understand, what is this total profit and loss? If you hover over it, I'll hover one right now. If you hover over it, it will tell you exactly how things are calculated out. See how that pops up? And it tells you how assessments are figured out. Or if you pop over here, the total appreciation, oops, it'll tell you how we calculate what the profit is. And it's a good way for you guys to come in and just learn how to figure this stuff out. It's not to replace any of the other tools you have, and there are some really good ones that are out there for a couple $100, and I've seen one for $1,000. But this is a good way for you to get the start and say, what do I need to take into account? The property tax, the insurance, the homeowners association fees. Figure all that stuff out, and it will trickle down, and you can figure out what your return on your investment is. Just for those of you that you might go out and use this, you can change these appreciation rates, and it will automatically trickle out through everything. It even has, in this first column here, if you're going to flip a house, if you're not going to take any rent or anything like that, it will tell you, this whole column up in here will tell you what your return on the investment will be. This house that we have plugged in here, it's not going to flip. It's not going to work. But you might be told, hey, you can go ahead and take this rental property and go ahead and flip this thing, and you'll make, 10 grand on it. But you crunch these numbers through here. It takes into account the cost to carry and all that kind of stuff. You'll look at here and you'll say, this is not a good deal. So it's just a good way for you to filter out all of the different smoke and mirrors things that people are throwing out there. And you can do apples to apples comparison. Take a property you get in Biloxi, take a property you get in Raleigh, run them all through this, and you'll get a better idea rather than hearing one realtor say one thing and then one developer say this and say, oh, yeah, it all sounds good to me. This will allow you to figure out how to run that stuff. Does anybody have any questions about this kind of stuff? I wish we could have had a better visual so we could run through the numbers, but you guys will figure it out. Rich.
I just want to make a comment. I've been using this program, and this is something you would expect to pay hundreds of dollars for. It's an absolutely amazing program that gives you real numbers, and check it out. It is awesome.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks. Nope. Okay, good. Well, my name is Sean Brown, National Association of Residential Real Estate Investment Advisors, NARIA.com. My phone number is 702-292-4365. Call me with any questions. Thanks. Oh, 702-292-4365.
Sean Brown. Wow, that was loud. And that's what I expected. Sean and I met about 6 months ago, and when I met Sean, we hit it off right away. And when I started forming the club, I said to Sean, I want somebody to speak nationally. And Sean has these, what do you call those people? Advisors. He's got these advisors that are all over the U.S. in different markets. And so he's real understanding as to what's going on in the market and the OFHEO figures. And if anybody hasn't, how many people have never heard of OFHEO? You've all heard of it? Good. You guys haven't heard of it? OFHEO.gov, G-O-V. It's probably the best website you're going to have to understand appreciation figures in the U.S. And you can look at it for the last 20 years. And it's just good to know where markets are. This is something Phil gave me. Last month's seminar we put on DVD. So if anybody wants to buy it, it's $20, same price as admission. So if anybody's interested, we've got a few of these. Where are we at? What are we up to next year, Phil? The OFHEO. www.o, F as in Frank, HEO.gov. And that's, once you get on there, you'll have to figure out where to find it. But you can look at appreciation rates. I'll give you an example. Orlando, Florida was 102% over the last 5 years. So you divide that up, you're looking at 20% a year for 5 years. So they're due to slow down. They're not going to go up forever. But you have to know where the markets are and what markets are doing better than national averages. All right, everybody should have a folder. It's either going to be blue or yellow. You probably have it with you, but just to go through that real quickly.